All right, welcome to the week 13, heading into week 13, Pro Football Doc Sports Injury Central podcast, recording Monday morning. So Colts Steelers still to go, last of week 12. And then guess what? It's December. So what's December mean for you guys?
Winter is coming.
Taylor says winter is coming. Jacob, what does it mean for you?
It doesn't mean that to me. I'm born and raised in California, so
It's true. It's true. It's different.
Yeah.
So different.
The surest way you can see a tourist is that on a nice day when it's like 68 or 70 degrees, everyone at the beach is a tourist.
Mhm.
You're
Oh,
in San
definitely.
Diego, nobody goes to the beach.
Because they think
We
that's a
can
good
wait.
day. They think that's a
Yeah.
good day. Yep.
Yeah.
we can wait. It means basketball season's almost starting.
Here's what it means to me. I don't know if you guys saw the Twitter live. I mean, boom, after Thanksgiving, the Christmas decorations start coming out at my house. And I know my wife doesn't listen to this podcast. The best part about it is yesterday, Sunday, when we were in the command center and doing all the football, 80% of it got put up and I didn't have to do
Really?
any of it. Shh, don't tell on me, anybody.
You're in the closer role where you come out. Oh, what can I help with? Yeah.
I was so proud of my daughter. Okay. Kill me. We used to make a big deal about going out and picking a tree and this, that, the other. But the needles drove my wife crazy. And we went to a fake tree, a bigger fake tree. It was expensive, but it was a better investment. I mean,
Right.
whatever.
I did the fake tree last year. It's the right move. I think it's the right move.
Whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
It is what it is. Okay, kill me. It's a fake tree. But we have multiple trees, and she loves Christmas. Okay, and the kids are little, and it's great. A couple fun things happen there. One is I get home, and my 10-year-old Dylan says we figured out how to put we have a little Santa Claus topper on the tree, and the tree's pretty high up, and the whole deal, and it's always a little crooked, and this, that, the other, and it's my job to get the ladder, and then the twins are fighting. No, I get to put it up this year. And then the little ones, like, how come I don't get to put it up? You're too, whatever. Came home, the tree topper was perfect, and she goes, Dylan did we figured out how to get it on there easily and not have I was like, how's that? Because the tree is in stages. They put the topper on first before assembling the top part of the tree on it.
There you go.
And it was perfect. It was like the little kid would let the air out of the tires. The truck is stuck in the tunnel. So I thought I was proud of her for that. And the other good thing is the little one was complaining, how come all these ornaments have Davis and Dylan on it and they don't have me? Because my wife always
It's a good question.
makes an ornament out of the Christmas card she sends out.
Mhm.
Well, they didn't have her for years, right?
Right.
And then of course, the first ones you get all these memories and all this, and then the last one's like, you're fine. Here's the hand-me-downs.
Mhm.
So we probably haven't and so Dylan found these little picture frame things and cut out pictures of Devin and put them in there, and
Oh, that's nice.
peace was good. So Christmas season, but I digress.
Keeping the peace in the house, that's important.
Do you want
Yeah.
to remember about your house, how much stuff you have? Because I remember helping you put it back in the
In the basement.
yes,
thing.
there. Yep. Yeah.
Yes, I'm in California. And we have a
Yes.
basement.
Yes.
That's unusual.
That's very true here. It's very unusual.
Well, that's my point. I was trying to say my lazy ass didn't have to go in the basement and get all that
yeah.
crap stuff out, so I was very
Beautiful
thankful.
crap. Yeah.
Late Thanksgiving thanks. I was thankful for that.
For sure.
But my point is, it's actually a different season in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I feel kind of like Colin Cowherd did. I didn't even plan this diatribe, but it's a different season in the NFL. What season is it in the NFL? People say maybe playoff season. No. It's shutdown season.
Mm-hmm.
As teams are eliminated, players tend to shut down. If you're still in it, you leave hope alive. I'm not suggesting Allen Robinson is a shutdown. He's got a stress fracture and he needs surgery. But when your team's not doing well, I'm not saying he's soft. I'm not saying it's the wrong decision, but the decision is easy with the Rams record.
They're 3-8. Yeah.
To shut it down. Aaron Rodgers even alluded to it. And I'm sure we'll talk about his ribs.
And Cooper Kupp, we're anticipating getting shut down.
Well, they don't need to make
with
the
everyone
decision
else.
yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because he's not ready
Right.
to go.
Right.
The shutdown is you might be able to play, let's shut it down.
Right.
Or you could play, let's shut it down. he's not in shutdown yet. He's not ready to go. There's no decision to be made. And Aaron Rodgers, we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about his injury. But Aaron Rodgers says it's not shutdown time for him because he wants to play against Chicago because the Packers are still mathematically in it. And he even said, as long as they're mathematically in it, I want to keep trying to play. Yeah, he knows chances are slim.
That's what I say. There's the limited now chances. Yeah.
Very limited.
Yeah.
But, you never know. Look, I was a part of, like, I'm the doctor, so I didn't. But the good news is I didn't miss any tackles ever. The bad news is
0 missed tackles.
No. Look, you can look it up. There was 1 year the Chargers were 4-8 in a 16-game season. 4-8. And we were all but mathematically eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept playing. Won once, won twice. That third game was in Tampa. I remember it. When we were flying home, this is old school. This is before internet and streaming games. I mean, you still had the fixed TVs that were coming in and out. And,
Right.
and you were trying to put on Sunday Night Football, and it was Denver versus I don't remember who, but Denver was ahead of us. Denver was 8-4 that year, and we were 4-8 with 4 games to go, all but done. We won 2 weeks in a row. Denver lost 2 weeks in a row, 8-6 and 6-8. We beat Tampa. I still remember that game. It was interesting. We couldn't get a 3rd and 1 ever, but we could get every 3rd and 11. It was amazing. It's like we needed more room.
Yep.
Sometimes how it works.
Yep.
And I was joking one time when it was 3rd and 3 and we got an offsides. I told the doc next to me, I think that's good for us today. I mean, a 3rd and 8's better than 3rd and 3 for us today. Opens things up. But anyways, we won that game, and we're flying cross country back home, and the Sunday Night Football, NBC TV, in and out, people trying to figure it out. The loudest cheer I ever heard on a plane when Denver lost that game. So they were 8-7, we were 7-8, and we were playing in San Diego. There wasn't a doubt in the world that we were winning that game. And so we made it 8-8. I mean, I don't know if that's something to be proud of, but
it happens.
So it can happen.
Yeah.
But that's what Aaron Rodgers is saying. As long as mathematically there's a chance, he wants to play, and it's the Bears. And I'll go on record. Aaron Rodgers is much more likely to play. And I think if he talks the team doctor into giving the injection, will play. Whereas Justin Fields still won't. Why is that? There's no such thing as a 1 week or 2 week grade 2 AC separation, AC joint sprain. He didn't play this week. Look, you can argue the team did the smart thing. Why put him at any risk, even though the risk may be small? He's proven that he's the future. Go ahead and get the better draft pick. Why not? Right? I mean,
Darnell Mooney just got lost with the high ankle sprain, so losing weapons, and just why put him out there and put more stress on him?
Right. And in case something else happens, and why, burn him, he's proven that he's their future, right? And so they're not going anywhere. And it's not illegal. This is in the player health and safety area, you might applaud this, but it's also a form of tanking, even though no one's going to say that within the organization.
It's definitely a form of tanking, yeah.
And I get the Packers.
Egregious as the NBA, so
I get the Packers are a rival, but it's not like you're going to prevent the Packers from going to the playoffs. And maybe if they lose that game, then they're mathematically eliminated. So you get some joy out of it. But
again, they traded their 2 best defenders. So
they traded. Yeah, they've already been in this mode.
By the way, that trend is still continuing. They're giving up 30+ points probably every single game since that trades, right? Those trades.
Yeah, don't hate on Mike White.
It's Mike White.
Yeah, I know. You're right. I'm sorry, Mike White.
No. My point is, you're not going to see Justin Fields if their decision making is consistent. For the same reasons they didn't play him this week, they're not playing Justin Fields against the Packers.
1 week doesn't change anything.
It's not going to change anything. But it's shutdown season, and I don't use it derogatorily. I mean, when I was in the NFL, we made those decisions, and players, I mean, there were players like, yeah, I know I need to have surgery, but we're still in this. Let's just keep going. I mean, but the second that you're out of the playoffs, it's shutdown season. That's what happens.
I would say Myles Garrett talked after the game about his shoulder, and he didn't bring it up. He was asked a question by reporters about his shoulder, and they saw he's kind of limited in the fourth quarter, and he said, yeah, it's in a lot of pain. Hopefully I don't need surgery, but if so, that'll happen after the season.
or after they're eliminated.
Or after, yeah. Well, Sean Watson come back. We'll see about the Browns, but yeah.
And some players say, when they say after the season, they mean after the meaningful season, right?
Right.
I mean,
After the mathematical season, yeah.
it is the collision sport of football, right? And so, yeah, and we still think that's related to the car accident, right?
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
So, anyways, didn't mean to go on that. I don't plan all this stuff. It just sort of rolled into this little. If that's 5% of Colin Cowherd, I'll be happy. You know how he starts? I like his openings where he like comes up with.
He scripts it well, definitely.
He scripts it well.
It's like a Jay Leno when he has.
I don't script it that well. That was just is what it is. I heard you guys talking about pie last week, so that inspired me. I mean, talk about something, but December, that's next. Shutdown season, holiday season, whatever you want to call it, and planning ahead here. The NFL's smart, right? What do they got going? No buys this week 12. Why? Because they have 3 games on Thanksgiving. So they still wanted the 7 and 4 and the slots, etc., and the other games. So this week, bye. Week 13, 2 buys. Week 14, 4 buys. And that's
6 buys, actually.
6 buys.
Week
Okay.
14, yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do we get?
Fantasy playoffs.
No. Saturday football.
That's right.
Yeah, a couple more.
No college, yeah.
They time the buys to end. Now they can have the extra games on Saturday and still have the full slate on Sunday.
Right.
Mhm.
NFL's not dumb. So 2 more weeks of buys after a pause in buys,
Right.
and then straight to Saturday football. The rest of the football season until the conference championships, we'll have Saturday football.
4 out of 7 days.
That's true.
Thursday, Monday, Saturday, Sunday.
Don't tell my wife that one either.
No, it starts on Christmas Eve, right? The Saturday game.
No,
Yeah.
before.
Is it before that? I think it's a week before.
Week 15 it starts.
Week 15, there is no Saturday. It's Thursday and then Sunday. I'm looking at it right now. I have my
Here
eyes
goes
on
the
it.
corrector. Okay.
So you got on week 16, you got the Thursday game, and then you have a bunch of Saturday games because it's Christmas Eve.
Okay, it is Christmas Eve. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
December 15th, Thursday is Niners Seahawks, and then it jumps right to Sunday.
Gotcha.
All right. All right, Jacob, what do we got?
Yeah,
I'm done with my stuff.
Let's run through some of the key ones. If you want more details on Aaron Rodgers and why it's ribs instead of oblique, you can check that out on the website. We got multiple articles up on him. From the start, we thought it was ribs, just the way he was hit, and didn't look like it happened on the throw. Travis Etienne was.
I'm gonna say a correction here.
We got the fact checker update.
I'm fact checking the fact checker. I just clicked on week 15, Saturday, December 17th.
And it's TBD.
TBD, Dolphins, Bills, Ravens, Browns, Colts. There's a bunch of games. TBD.
So-
Saturday, December 5th, 17th.
Mine says Sunday, December 18th, TBD on mine on the NFL site.
NFL
Well,
needs to
I
check
see
their site
Sunday
then.
games and Saturday games, 17th and 18th.
Sunday, December 18th.
Lunch.
I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm looking at the NFL site. Here.
I'm just saying. I'm fact checking the fact checker. I got fact checked. I'm fact checking back. I believe the NFL will have games on December 17th, Saturday.
So they're going to move the games from Sunday to Saturday.
Well, ESPN says there are a bunch of TBD games.
We can track it by looking at when college football games stop happening on Saturday.
It does happen
Yeah.
before.
It 100%
typically.
coincides. Yeah. Travis Etienne, they're saying
I've corrected the corrector.
he's furiously.
He's not happy
researching
right now.
Yeah.
Look on the
it's
video. He's
wrong.
not happy right now.
It's wrong. The
It's
website's
wrong.
wrong. Travis Etienne cleared to come back with that left foot. That was the previous list rank injury was in that foot. Preseason week 2 of his rookie season. So a little bit of a scare, but it sounds like he's all right. I think it was Doug Peterson's decision not to put him back in.
Yeah, I mean, look, because of the same foot, I get the scare. The X-rays are negative. He clearly was available for emergency usage, right? He was running up and down the sideline.
Yeah, I think Peterson said they wanted more tests done, but Etienne and the team doctors were telling him, yeah, emergency use. He was fine to go back in.
Yeah, and so maybe this bodes well for next week, but part of it is also, I mean, they were in that game. They ended up winning that game. They needed Travis Etienne. Maybe part of it is, an 85% Travis Etienne. They would rather have Hasty.
Yeah,
I mean, or maybe
he was playing
Hasty
really
did
well,
well.
though.
and some of it is also hiding behind health. hey, Hasty's rolling good. We're good.
Yeah.
But if Hasty got hurt or Hasty, started not do well, you good, Travis?
Yeah. They're 3-7 going into that game. So why push it? Yeah.
Well, it's interesting how much comments I heard about from other players about people running through a wall for Doug Peterson and being negative about Urban Meyer. It was.
That's still going to linger in Jacksonville for quite a while, I think. So matchup against the Lions next week. You think he's full go? He's ready to go against that defense? Because that's a juicy fantasy matchup, DFS, all that stuff. I hope his salary is depleted.
I don't know if you were baiting me by saying that defense as in good or bad. What defense? No, just kidding. Seems like he's going to be okay. Seems like he'll be okay. We'll see what his usage ends up being. Some of it may be because Hasty's earned some more time.
Yeah. They just picked up Darrell Henderson off waivers. So if they need an extra body, they got him. They got Snoop Connor. So they got depth. Maybe see what they have. Again, Etienne's kind of proved himself like Justin Fields. So
you got me on Snoop Connor. I don't know nothing about Snoop Connor. But Henderson, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know the difference in schemes and systems. He's got to learn the scheme and system. He's got to learn the audibles and the pass block calls and whatever before Henderson can get a lot of time. And there's not a lot of time in season.
Mid-season, no buys. Yeah.
To fit him in. So we'll see what happens.
Better O-line than the Rams. So he's got to be thinking it.
Yeah.
Another big injury situation for a big matchup. Niners against Dolphins, the revenge game for Mike McDaniels. Elijah Mitchell left the game with the right knee MCL, opposite side as his previous one. And Christian McCaffrey we saw with the strap. They had the sideline report. Take us through what that means for CMC rest of the season and when Mitchell might be back to spell him.
Yeah. I don't know that I would call that a revenge game. It might be a love fest.
They really are.
They left on good terms, right?
There's a lot of Niners on that Dolphins team, so.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hug fest. I don't think there's bad blood there at all.
Right.
Do you? I mean, I think it's more of a hug fest.
I think it's more of a competitive, like I'm a better play caller than you, even though I learned under you.
I don't see that. I think they they love each other.
I'm trying to create a narrative. Come on, stop shooting me down.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're okay.
No one wants to hear about NFL love fest.
No,
I get your point though. No, you're right.
Okay.
I don't think there's any bad blood between any of them.
Eli Mitchell, MCL. You want the good news or the bad news?
Give me the bad news.
Bad news, MCL sprain. Good news, not the same knee. Good news, perhaps not as bad.
Is it better to not have it in the same knee?
Well, yes,
there could be
and
complications.
No. If it were just a scare with a little bit of the residual laxity, then I would say it's better. If it's a grade 2 now becomes a grade 3 or now surgical, then it's not as good. So it depends. Right. But he's going to miss some time. You can't be an NFL running back with an MCL. Now, Jimmy G, I think, actually has a mild MCL. Not to get off track. I mean, you go to the Twitter video, or maybe Justin will insert it in here in his post-production editing. Got hit. That's a mild MCL. He stayed in the game. He's not a scrambler much anyways, or at least since he tore his ACL, he's not. He's gotten smarter. He admitted his knee is sore. Don't be surprised if you see a lead leg brace, knee brace. A lot of quarterbacks do prophylactically. Mm-hmm. I would expect that next week for Jimmy G. But that's different. And I don't think his is more mild. Mitchell's more mild than last time. It's not a grade 2, high grade 3 or whatever, where he missed 8+ weeks. But he easily could hit an injured reserve. We'll see. And yes, he can hit injured reserve and still return. The rules have changed once again. It's 4-week injured reserve. A player can go on twice and return. The limitation is on the team having 8 returns in a season. So I think they've burned through a few, and they still have to say
out of any team, they got to be close. Then the Ravens, so.
Eric Armstead, I think, is still right on that. And there might be 1 or 2 others, but
Javon Kinlaw.
We looked at it. They still have room to put him on, and then still.
It's more about saving spots for the people that are on already,
Right.
right? Because like they haven't used a lot back and forth. You know, the 2 linebackers on the edge, that's it. But like Bosa didn't go on IR.
No, their consideration has to be a little more careful because they're hoping and expecting to play beyond. So it's not like you get to the 4th week, get to week 14. Okay, there's only 4 weeks left in the season. It doesn't matter anymore because it carries into the playoffs,
right?
The returns. And it is easier this year, as we talked about, because of the practice squad call-ups, right? Where you can call someone up and down and some better, easier roster management. And that's a COVID leftover. But it's not as easy as in college. Oh, let's talk about that. So the big college game of the week, Michigan, Ohio State, Jim Harbaugh, my guy, won. And we at the site said Blake Corum not going to play. I was wrong. We were wrong, but we were right. And here's the fundamental difference. Blake Corum, we said, hey, he's not going to play. He's not going to play. 2 carries, 6 yards. He basically did
in the first quarter. They just fed him the first 2,
gave it a try, decoy, and said, okay, here you're done. Why were they able to do that?
Because the backup had 216 yards.
No,
because they don't have to declare anyone active and
correct.
Yeah.
All 100 guys on the sidelines can play.
Right.
It's not declaring 45 or 46 and roster spots being precious. Everyone in uniform on the sideline can enter the game.
It's better to have him as a cheerleader because he's like a leader of the team.
Have him in uniform.
Right.
It's a good thing. So now I don't think there were any, but we would have loved some Blake Corum under props.
No, they didn't dare.
They were scared.
Yeah. So, so that's where it was like, he was active for the game, but they don't do that in college. It's just different in terms of what's going on. And then CMC.
Right.
Once again, you want the good news or the bad news?
I don't want any news about CMC related to injury, but go ahead. Bad news first. We'll start that again.
Bad news. I see how you go. You like bad news first. Get it out.
Get out the way.
How about you, Taylor?
I want it all in one sentence. You need to just tell me the news. I don't like the game. Like bad news.
It's like my Sirius XM NFL walk up music. It's always, is it Huey Lewis or I don't remember. No, I don't even remember who it is. Doctor, give me the news. No, it's not Huey Lewis. It's who is that? It's an old school song.
We weren't alive yet.
We can pull it out.
Don't make me fact check that. You're probably right though.
Yeah.
Whatever that song is it James Palmer? No.
Robert Palmer.
Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Anyway, I'm not a big music guy. Doctor, give me the news. Okay. Anyways, bad news. It lingers. It's something he's going to deal with. We see the patella tendon, chopat, counterforce brace splint. I don't know how bad it is. The good news, he can absolutely play through with very little long-term risk. It's just a management issue and how sore and how effective. Watch for limited practices. Watch for some management. If he gets PRP, he'll be shut down a couple weeks. I'm not saying he's going to need it, but they have that in the background too. Good news is I don't believe he will miss games. Good news is I believe he can still be effective. The bad news is this might be something he needs to deal with the rest of the season. Off-season arrest will get this healthy, but as you continue to go picking at the scab, that's the good news, bad news. So Taylor, for you in one sentence, the good news is he's not going to miss any time. The bad news is he's going to have to deal with it the rest of the season.
Okay, that's good.
Quick twitch.
Yeah. No, but I'll read the whole article. I just part of like getting news. I'd rather get it in one sentence.
I mean, I don't think that's what fantasy owners want to hear because CMC to the Niners was supposed to be a big boost, get out of Carolina, and then now you're telling me snaps are going to be limited on a pain basis.
We'll talk about that on our fantasy show. I don't think that was actually a shared belief. It was his big value is like getting all the volume.
Right.
He was not going to get to the Niners automatically. Right. They run a 2-back system.
Elijah Mitchell once he was back.
Yeah. So I actually think a lot of analysts that were sharp on that play thought that was a bad move fantasy wise for CMC.
Is fantasy still going? I mean, I think I'm hanging on by a thread, right? I mean,
it's a tough thread, but yeah.
Scott Fish starts early. You guys think the playoffs are like now? Like, okay. No, these are the shutdown weeks for a lot of fantasy teams, and then there's playoffs week 14, 15, 16.
It's lightweight, true, but there's 15, 16, 17. That's
what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying common leagues.
The only 3, I've only played 3 fantasy season/leagues. Okay, there was a family league where I like drew names for everybody, right? And when they were, and we do have a company league where I don't know that even I missed half the drafts in auto draft, right? But the Scott Fish Bowl, I don't know if I take seriously, but I try to use that as a learning experience. Third year, they're in playoffs. I don't know how. I mean, I've been pretty lucky. I think it's beginner's luck. We won the division, the first division. What is it? Division or league? What do you call it?
Division.
Won the division. First place had a bye the first year. Won the division, had a bye the second year, and bye in the first round of the playoffs, and then promptly lost in the first playoff matchup because probably I draft for regular season rather than boom playoffs, right? I don't know.
It's a waiver wire. That's what sustains you. Yeah.
Okay. I never made any waiver wire moves. So.
We don't do waiver wire moves. No.
Yeah. We don't do any waiver wire moves. I mean, I don't know how to. This year, made it in the playoffs in the wild card. Now I have an abysmal score right now. Last week, I had 200 points. I don't know how. I have no quarterbacks. I mean, look, I'm down to Andy Dalton, Russell Wilson. Okay, I am bottom of the barrel. Terrible there. But somehow managed 200 points last week, which was a record for me. This week, I'm not even at 100. And Taylor tells me I might make the playoffs still or make the next round. I guess it's a friendly cut the first week. I don't know how it works.
It's a very friendly cut, yeah. You need to have big games from who do you have left? Harrison, who?
So here's the question we're talking about. We said, okay, Taylor being the fantasy guru and strategist says, you need to root against Jonathan Taylor because everyone who is Jonathan Taylor is going to vault you because you have Michael Pittman. And so you need a bad, you're near that line. So you got to root for no Jonathan Taylor because all those people will pass you and you'll miss the playoffs. But I said, but I've got Pittman and Najee. So my question to you guys and to the crowd is, would you rather have Jonathan Taylor or Michael Pittman and Najee Harris?
I think it's Pittman and Najee. You'd rather have 2 versus 1, but yeah, I don't know. Depends on the game script.
You need to cover a 27-point difference to get into the 1350 people, the cutoff line.
So those two need to outscore Jonathan Taylor by 27.
A little bit.
Not quite. He's saying I need 27 right now.
Yeah.
You need 27 points out of those two.
Yeah.
So I do think they're projected to get 14 points each.
Yeah, I would say that.
And so, but then if Jonathan Taylor does well, maybe that
you need above projection plays. Yeah.
Look, I already look at it. I'm out. Like even if I get to the next round, what am I going to do? I got nobody.
If you limp in the next
my
round,
number one pick, Cooper Kupp. Okay. I mean, I'm done. I mean,
I got the 805, which is good. I'm done. But
and Russell Wilson, I'm not saying I love Russell Wilson, but where I was drafting,
it was a teardrop. Remember that?
I needed to take him, and he hadn't done anything this year, so that hurts. And my savior sort of has been Andy Dalton, so that tells you all you need to know.
And I remember talking you through that. You made me get Dalton in a bunch of leagues after that phone call because I was just like in my head, I was like,
he's consistent.
Because I think as a fantasy player, I think even Jacob too, we get lost in like Jameis Winston, we love him, but like as like a real life quarterback,
like he's Dennis Allen ain't going with that.
He's not the greatest, you know. So I mean.
I don't know. All I know is that saved me in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to root against anyone. But if you do look at our field views, here's the one thing that I would say: it's pretty even matchup tonight. But Pittman is not a bad play tonight because no Akilla Witherspoon.
Right.
His backup's on IR. So who's going to cover the number one wide receiver? And Matt Ryan's healthy, and the Colts have maybe straightened out a little bit.
It's going to be Cam Sutton, who's decent, but he's got beat a bunch of times this year. And Pittman's big guy that can beat a guy like Sutton. So we'll watch that. Yeah.
So that might be a prop play for people. But right now, I'm on Pittman and Najee Harris to try and sneak my way into the next round of the playoffs. But it's lambs to the slaughter. Even if I make it,
we're at peak right now, right?
Yeah. It is what it is. All right, what else you got?
Let's get to more offensive line injuries, then we'll get to some coach speak and hiding behind health.
In the World Cup.
Tristan Wirfs had the WWE move down on that left leg.
Oh yeah, Justin, you got to insert this. I mean, the DB got thrown down onto his leg. That was
it's a number thing. He's not a DB. It's he wears 28, but he's the linebacker. Owusu Koromoya.
I hate
I hate the numbers things.
Yeah,
He's kind of
can't.
short. He's kind of short too, but he's built like he's so quick and speedy.
He threw a grown man at my leg. It's gonna hurt. A lot.
Even if it's a DB, it's fine.
He got thrown like he was.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. He got
it down.
No, he got tossed.
Why is he jumping? Is that something that should be penalized? Is that I don't even know why he got airborne in the first place.
Well, I think the quarterback looked right.
Oh,
He was trying to bat down the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm told that if any time a defender jumps, you're supposed to hit him in the gut or do something to him. But he jumped into the player, and the player. I mean, that's a beast of the week. The lineman that threw him. That was. I mean, all that was missing was the wooden plank floor of WWE and the noise. Except it was the leg of Tristan Wirfs.
Right.
By the way, do you know how they make that noise? How the noise works in the WWE?
So like two wood platforms on each other?
No,
it can't be. What is it? Something weird.
Okay, I worked with the WWE.
Right.
I was a team doc, Rey Mysterio, this, that, the other. I've done stuff for them, and I have the utmost respect for WWE and those athletes. I call them athletes. The stuff is scripted, but the athleticism and what they do is real.
Right.
And there are some scripted injuries, but there are real injuries too. But the sound is, the ring is made up of boards, like 2x8 boards, and they're not nailed in, and so they're set on top
on
with
purpose.
The
they're not
top.
nailed in on purpose.
Yes, so that's the boom
rattle,
sound and the rattly that you need,
Yeah.
etc. And I guess what, also the wood gives a little bit of give.
It's on it's an authentic sound.
It's an authentic sound.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of what they do. But
but
this was thrown into Tristan Wirfs' leg, and thankfully there was no fracture.
Yeah, good news, no fracture. They're saying high ankle sprain,
which is what we said.
4 weeks,
I think 3 or 4 weeks is optimistic, but we'll take it. If he can come back in 3 or 4 weeks, Tampa should take it.
It seems like they're like that with offensive linemen. Remember, Ryan Jensen has not been ruled out this year. I believe
Still
we
didn't reveal
six
exactly
score
what he had.
Basically ruled him out. Remember with the high grade MCL, could have been more. You said we just didn't know because it's training camp. He hasn't played all year, and there's no sign of him coming back.
Yeah, maybe that's the hiding behind coach speak or whatever.
They just be optimistic,
staying optimistic
for sure.
So maybe it's best case 3 or 4 weeks, but that's kind of what I'm saying.
Well, fans,
if it's 3 or 4 weeks,
don't want to hear 6 weeks. They want to hear 3 to 4 because
3 to 4. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take 3 to 4. Boom. I'll take 4 right now. Right. I mean,
well, that's a team also that we talked about with the Packers and Rams. They're kind of not in it, right?
I don't know. They are because their division.
Their whole division's under 500.
They're in first place, right?
I think they are in first place.
Yeah, so they're
they're
solidly in it.
I just
of the division.
Offensive line. I'm thinking, how are they in it? That's 4 out of 5 now. The right guard is the only guy there that's green.
No, you're not mistaken for thinking that because it's like how are they relevant with all those issues and but
that is there. Like, I think you did bring that up on Sunday. They're the only division that's under 500 every single team.
Meanwhile, the NFC East, every team might make it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Going to some coach speak, a big one from Thanksgiving was Von Miller escaping the ACL tear, even though we did see the shift in that right leg when he stepped and had his foot stepped on. Sean McDermott is becoming a new favorite for coach speak. He says he's taking it 1 week at a time with Von Miller.
Was it hour day by day or hour by hour?
Day by day is Deion Dawkins with the left tackle with the ankle. So
hour by hour,
but week by week is the Von Miller.
Okay.
But week by week is.
He already ruled him out for Thursday, but he's saying, "Oh, we'll see from there."
Yeah, but that's like when you're doing holiday theme. When you're doing any holiday travel or flights,
right?
And you're going to see the family or the in-laws or whatever, and they said, "I'm sorry, your flight's delayed. It's not leaving at 7:13. When's it leaving? Check back at 8."
Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean it's leaving at 8.
Then it's check back at 9. Right? I mean, that's
kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah. And so he's saying, the flight's not on time. He's not playing Thursday, but we'll see about
playoff return is what you would expect if they do make it, which they are.
I mean, I'm concerned about lateral meniscus. I mean, that might need surgery. I think he has at least an MCL. Maybe the initial laxity from his previously reconstructed ACL saved him, which is good. I mean, his knee did shift. So
I'll lead to where he was playing too, right? I saw Beckham kind of complain about the surface he was playing on, and this leads into what you said about Lane Johnson last night too, which was key.
Hopefully you look at the video. Look, Lane Johnson, it's on the Twitter feed, and I think we made a video out of it.
Yes.
The reason why we're trying to address that is all this stuff about grass versus turf and billionaires. It should be like, let me try and say it once and for all. You can cut up data however you want, and you can't compare a non-contact ACL, which has been the focus of, oh, look at MetLife and that non-contact ACL.
It's significant injuries. Yeah.
There have been as many or more on grass, and it's 16 teams to 16 teams, turf to grass, ACL tears. Hard Rock has 3, Denver has 3, Detroit turf has 3, so 2 grass fields have 3. MetLife now has 4 ACLs, but they have 2 teams playing on there, so
it halves,
right?
SoFi was on there too with 3, but they have 2 teams.
They have 2 teams, yes. And so then you can argue about high ankles and this, that, the other. But in my anecdotal experience, NFL, Lane Johnson, on average, you save 1 significant knee injury a year if you're on grass. And some would say that's well worth it to have grass. I get it, yes, but it's not going to cut ACL tears or major injuries in half. But if you look at Lane Johnson video, you'll see how he gets cut, hit low, and his knee sort of snaps back as his foot kicks up some grass and dirt. It doesn't stick. And that is what saves him. And Lane Johnson, after the game, said his knee would have been FUCK'd or whatever if
he didn't mince words, that's for sure.
Yeah, if he wasn't on grass. So kudos to the Eagles and Jeffrey Lurie and the whole deal. Yeah, I think that's a clear incidence where a player got saved because of grass. I think that's really the focus. There's one good save a year because of grass as opposed to turf. And this was the save. But all the other injuries are fairly similar. And maybe that's enough reason to change to grass. But I'm just saying that that's what is realistic. And I'll stand by that grass did save him. It's like ski binding releasing. The binding released. He didn't hurt his knee, as opposed to the binding cranked tight for a pro and staying on and tearing up your knee. It's a beginner binding. It released. And he avoided injury there. So that's that.
Just our weekly Carolina Panthers hide me on health check-in. Baker's, Steve Wilkes talked this morning. Baker's not automatically the backup behind Sam Darnold. He said wants to see where PJ Walker's high ankle sprain is before making that decision.
He just said he doesn't like it.
That's where we're at with Carolina, even though they traded for Baker. I don't think it was Steve Wilkes' decision. So
interesting. I'm sorry. I got surgery next year, so I'm trying to
alert
the crew. Yeah, I mean, there's more to it, right? And it's convenient hiding behind health, and let's see what happens. But Sam Darnold,
he did all right.
I know. In our little picks and analysis, by the way, we're doing well.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised on the published picks through Outkick, but they're published, and it's different than the sick picks, but they're similar ideology behind it. We're through 12 weeks, 5 picks against the spread. We are plus 18, 66%, 37, 19, and 4. And that's publicly vetted, and it's published and time stamped and the whole deal. And I know our strongest pick of the week was Carolina over Denver based on health scores.
Right.
I know I paused though because it's Carolina.
It's tough.
But I was like, that's the strongest matchup.
Sam Darnold against a Denver defense that's been best in the league. But they scored enough.
That was
DJ Moore. He played well with his friend.
That was a pretty good cruiser. And DJ Moore might have been a little secret in the DFS with you guys.
Yeah.
I played him. You probably did too. Anyways, Sam Darnold back,
some key matchups for week 13. We already talked through Green Bay and Chicago, Fields versus Rodgers. Which one's going to play? Leaning towards Rodgers.
Rodgers, I'd say at this point likely, and Fields at this point doubtful.
Right. Washington, New York Giants as the other interesting one injury wise. Maybe Evan Neal has a chance to come back from that MCL. I believe it was 6 weeks ago at this point. So it could be some help for their line, but their wide receiver issues are still the biggest deal, and Adoree Jackson still out as long as their number 2 corner. So something watching that game. Also, Taylor Heineke's, I don't think there's any question that it's his job right now.
Rivera said so. Yeah, Rivera said so.
Yeah, it's his job now. No question.
And Denver, Baltimore, we talked about. That's going to be the injury bowl. Denver with the lowest 6 score of any team this season, and the Baltimore surprisingly getting a little healthier. Gus Edwards outperformed a little bit of his expectations.
He did. He did better than I thought, no question. So I think that one's going to be more directional health. I think their scores are going to be closer than you think, but I think Baltimore is creeping up and Denver has continued to creep down.
And that's how their season trajectory is going too. So
yeah,
hand in hand.
So I anticipate that even though their scores may not have a huge differential, Baltimore's, and even though they lost, right? And that was another one. Jacksonville was healthier than Baltimore. Baltimore, they had the opposite records. That was another one that was like, ooh, it's hard to press send on this one, I mean, Jacksonville, but they were getting 3.5.
Covered in one. So
they actually won. They didn't need the 3.5.
Outright.
But I was like, 3.5, is that enough? But you look at the field view, they're mostly green, and Baltimore was littered with yellows and reds. So anyways.
Beast of the week, we got 2 candidates. First one might be a little bit an obvious choice. Josh Jacobs with the, I don't know if it was a fake calf injury or what happened with that. Maybe just a scare. He picked up on Thursday, LP in practice, and then questionable all the way up until game time. And end up being active, 33 carries for 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the 80-something yarder to win in overtime, and 6 catches for 74 yards. So
broke the Raiders scrimmage record.
Kudos to him.
Time. Yeah.
I didn't think he'd play through if he had the calf in the late thing, but
if they pick up his 5th-year option, does he play through, or is that a revenge of screw you guys, I'm going to show out even though you don't want to keep me next year?
He's been doing that every game.
He has been doing it every game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
he's
know
out on the revenge track.
I don't know if it's screw you.
I know it's too specific.
I think it's more fine. You didn't want to pay me. I'll go earn my money myself.
Yeah,
he's doing that.
I mean,
he killed the audition right there. So
right now, he shouldn't be mad that he didn't get picked up.
No, I think
they did him a favor. Actually,
right? Yeah, changed his mindset of whatever he did. He's having the career.
Well, no, I mean, he's going to make more money this way. Now they either have to tag him, which will be more, or get him signed, or let him go to the highest bidder.
He's the leading rusher in NFL by 111 yards.
After that game, definitely, yeah. Wow.
Or every game this year.
That's a good
Henry being held to 30.
But we like video and other things. I mean, the offensive lineman that threw the linebacker, that's kind of a beast, although he'll probably get chastised for throwing him into one of his teammates.
Yeah.
They don't like that. I mean, let me tell you something. I've seen offensive linemen give rookies and young guys grief. Like, you better not throw that guy into me. You better hold on to the block.
Right.
Because, that's how people get hurt.
Exactly.
That's how Ryan Jensen got hurt in training camp. I remember you saying that.
The rookie D lineman went low and the other offensive lineman pushed him to the side.
Yeah.
And that's how he got hurt.
To the side. You don't see it coming. Yeah. Yep. So we won't go with that one. How about the practice squad guys' shoulder pads crushing Sean McVay?
We haven't heard any fallout from that. But we'll see if he's active next week if he gets the same call up.
I guarantee you he's going back to the practice squad. He was no, I'm joking.
He's like a 3rd tight end. So
he's going back to the practice squad because he wasn't truly activated to the roster. He was a practice squad call-up, which means he's going right back.
Right.
So, nothing to do with McVay.
Right.
He's going right back. And I had great humor with people saying the get back coach. Where was the get back coach?
Right.
Well, let me tell you, in general, the get back coach isn't always for the head coach. It's for everyone else.
The sideline, yes.
And the get back coach is facing the coach.
He wouldn't have seen he wouldn't have seen the blindside block come in, basically.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and look, let me tell you what happened. The practice squad guy, I'm sure it was a special teams play. He went, oops, 4th down. I gotta go.
Right. He's not used to it. I gotta be out there, coach.
I better not miss my assignment here. And if you notice, he didn't even turn. He didn't care who he hit. It's like, I'm not getting yelled at. Yeah. I gotta be out there. And so
he didn't look back to see who he hit at all.
He went to Devontae Adams. I have the right of way. I don't care who's in the way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We got a college video for you. Pittsburgh D lineman Devin Danielson made the rounds on Twitter. They were up 42-16, I think it was, on Miami on the U, and takes a helmet. He was getting into it for a teammate or something, just fired up, and then takes the helmet and bashes himself in the head 5 times with the helmet off.
His teammates on the sideline are like terrified.
The best part of the videos is his teammates looking over and going, "Oh, what is he doing?" So, do you prefer that or Baker headbutting the lineman? What's the bigger beast?
I don't know. I think Baker at least was, I don't know. He's a beast and whatever. But this guy, I mean, if you weren't checking him for CTE beforehand. You need to after. Now, I don't make a joke out of it, but what is he doing? I can't reward that. I mean, that's I mean, that's definitely what are you doing to yourself? I mean, Beast of the Week, I'll give it to Sean McVay. I mean, he got hit pretty good.
He didn't make a big deal after the game either.
Oh, he was sore, and you can see his swollen.
He's definitely hurting today. Yeah, got to check with a dentist or something.
But privately, there'll probably be McVay might give the kid a little bit of grief.
Yeah. Yep. No, for sure.
I remember one time, it's not the same thing, but we'll end on this story here. Rookie show. You're supposed to end training camp with a rookie show. Dave Ball, UCLA D lineman, D lineman, did an unbelievable Marty Schottenheimer impersonation in the rookie show. Pulled his pants up, had the straw hat, and well, man, and really, and made fun of Marty. That's what you're supposed to do. Did an unbelievable job.
Yeah.
Preseason game the next day, final game against San Francisco, against your 49ers. Dave Ball sacks the quarterback. And there's holding called. So the referee goes, holding, and then starts the client. And Marty goes, we're taking the penalty. The referee looks at him, you're taking the penalty? I mean, do they replay the down and the 10 yards? You don't want to have it. You have the down count anyways, and lose 9 yards. You want the extra? Yeah. Okay. And he marches off the penalty. And Marty turns around. Fuck him. Taking the sack away. It was revenge. Private revenge. Now, preseason, it wouldn't have counted in his stats anyways. But great. I thought it was a really funny moment because Dave Ball got him pretty good, and the rookie show he got him back. So privately, I want to hear the story what Sean McVay does. Publicly, nothing will happen.
Yeah,
there's got to be some funny comeback or something there related to it.
That's great.
And sorry for cursing there. It's got whatever
part of the story.
Anyways, I was quoting.
There you go.
Language. Anyways, all right. Thanks again. Having fun on the podcast here. Happy December. Next time we talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Shutdown season, holiday season, whatever it is. And
we didn't get the World Cup.
World Cup.
Let's go Neymar. That's the big name of the tournament right now. I mean, Kerry Kane had his ankle. He's back to playing, maybe not as effectively, but Neymar's the big one. Ankle sprain, had the hematoma. They're trying everything to get swelling out, but they're already in the cup of the round of 16. So
I think it's not impossible he'll play 16 in the round of 16. I mean, that's what they're targeting, right? Harry Kane, he played because he's more a static player than a true striker, and he didn't look good,
right.
Kind of thing. So, World Cup coverage, all sports, Sports Injury Central. We try and be Kleenex for injury analysis, not injury reporting. Injury analysis. The analysis is we do believe Neymar will return for the round of 16, for the quarterfinals. Anyways, thanks for watching Pro Football Doc Sports Injury Central podcast. Off to surgery. We'll check you guys later.